CPT time tonight. Our folks must be on. What's going on, everybody over there on the YouTube world? What's up? What's up? Once again, we're back for another episode, another program, another space, another program. I'm hoping everybody's okay tonight. Shout out to anybody that's over there and YouTube coming in. Make sure you guys, when you come in, you go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel. People are a little bit slow getting that a day. Salute to you, Cruise Control. I see you over there as well, too. So salute to you as well. Our folks a little bit slow getting in here tonight, but we should have a pretty good conversation tonight. I look forward to it. I can't really wait for this discussion to go ahead and take place. What's up for sale? This thing should be rolling here in just a second. We're going to give our people some time to get up in here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in tonight. Very interesting discussion. Trump is feeling it on both sides. He's definitely feeling on his MAGA side Monday and Tuesday when he made the announcement about 600,000 Chinese students about to get visas so they can come over here and go to college. And there was a major blowback, major pushback, major problem on the GOP Republican side with that. Some of his most ardent supporters have an issue with that as well, too. So, man, we're going to go in on that tonight. I look forward. I'm hoping that we hear great dialogue, not only over here on X, where we hold the spaces at, but also we're streaming over there on YouTube as well, too. And I know you guys leave some great comments over there in the comment section as well, too. I'm hoping that we can go ahead and get that. We can read that back to our people over here in the space. Shout out to Nightfall. I see Nightfall's made his way over there on YouTube. So shout out to Nightfall, one of our mods over there. Brother holds it down for us all the time as well, too. Nightfall, I know you're going to have some good questions and some good comments you're going to leave over there as well, too. I know sometimes you'll double dip and you'll come back over here to X as well, too, man. So this is something else for a lot of people that said that Trump was going to come in and he was going to stop immigration and this and that. And he was going to do this and do that, whatever. That's not to say that he hasn't done some things in terms of immigration as well, too. But this is something that nobody expected to come through. I see shout out to Brother Moku as well, too. Nightfall said they should consider the large amount of Chinese students and parents who got into college illegally. There's a lot of blowback on this thing, man. And there's an actual article that I'm going to read. That's from Fox. So I decided to go ahead and pull one of the sources from their bosom buddies and let you hear some of the actual comments and the actual the mood that's coming from a lot of the people in the GOP as well, too, that just straight out do not like this. They do not like this. Now, they're down with everything else that Trump is doing, but they have a major issue with this one right here. DJ, what's going on tonight, man? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, mic check. Just sharing the space out. News Total. CCP, how's it going?
Yes, sir. And I'm hoping that I hear Moku up here tonight as well, too. What's up, Nita? I see you dropped up in the space as well, too. Y'all make sure y'all retweet it so we can get our people to start coming up in here. Our people like to come up in the spaces slow, so hopefully we can we're gonna get this thing rolling. And they can always join in as well, too. But got to touch up on this. What my boy Nightfall says, an immigration issue. How can you get rid of thousands of Mexicans and Cubans but open the door to hundreds of thousands of Chinese? Well said. Cruise Control, shout out Cruise Control. I know you was up in there early. Well, I guess somebody got to finish California high-speed rail. Bring on the Chinese. Hey, man, me and DJ about 3 years ago, we did a space and we was talking about the actual, maybe 2-3 years ago, we did a space talking about the actual police stations that the Chinese was putting over here in America. That kind of fell underneath the radar there. That was happening. They was opening up police stations left and right, and that's kind of fell underneath the radar. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing rolling here tonight. DJ, if you see anybody that comes up and wants to speak, go ahead and allow them to come up to speak. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read this actual article I printed up from Fox, and we're gonna go in there. Moku, what's up, man? I hope that you get a chance to speak tonight. I know you be driving and doing your thing, but I want to hear what you got to say tonight as well, too. From Fox News, Trump ignites conservative backlash after opening the door to 600,000 Chinese students. What is this madness? President Donald Trump's plan to allow 600,000 Chinese student visas to be issued sparked backlash from the right on Monday and Tuesday. I hear so many stories that we're not going to allow their students, Trump told reporters, as trade talks with China are ongoing. We're going to allow their students to come in. It's very important. 600,000 students. It's very important, but we're going to get along with China, he continued. Trump expanded on his comments during a cabinet meeting at the White House on Tuesday. I think it's very insulting to say students can't come here because they'll go out and start building schools and they'll be able to survive it. But I like that their students come here. I like that other country students come here. And you know what would happen if they didn't? Our college system would go to hell very quickly, and it wouldn't be the top colleges. So it'd be colleges that struggle on the bottom. And you take out 300,000 or 600,000 students out the system, Trump said. I like having, and I told this to the president, we're honored to have their students here. Now with that, we check in careful and see who's there, he added. Some immigration groups and conservative voices on social media voiced their opposition to the proposal. We should not let in 600,000 Chinese students to attend American colleges and universities that may be loyal to the CCP, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Representative Georgia, posted on X late Monday night. If refusing to allow these Chinese students to attend our school causes 15% of them to fail, these schools should fail anyways because they're being propped up by the CCP. Granting 600,000 student visas to Chinese nationalists threatens to put foreign students ahead of U.S. graduates. Joe Chapman, Director of Government Relations at the Federation of American Immigration Reform, told Fox News Digital in a statement. The focus now must be on reforms to limit access to sectors crucial to our economy and national security that have repeatedly been the target of corporate espionage and intellectual property theft. Now expanding access to hostile countries. Educating foreign nationals should never be put before the interests of U.S. citizens and ensuring that our nation thrives, he continued. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick went further than the Trump administration's view on the matter when pressed on the Ingram angle. The president's point of view is that what would happen if you didn't have these 600,000 students is that you empty from the top, all the students would go up to better schools, and the bottom 50% of universities and colleges will go out of business in America. Now we're just making stuff up. He's taking a rational economic view, which is classic Donald Trump, Lutnick added. Many suggested that free market should come into play with these colleges. That could be a potential financial risk. Let them go under then. What is the madness? We don't want more Chinese students. We actually don't want any, conservative commentator Kyra Davis wrote. 15% going under isn't a bad thing. A writer, Ryan Gadursky, posted on X, Trump's team is not capable of defending his Chinese student visa program. Conservative lawyer Marina Medvin posted on X, that's because they don't actually want it either. It's hard to sell something you don't like. So this is essentially a subsidy for academia. Got it. American universities shouldn't need an influx of foreign students in order to stay afloat. If they can't survive on American enrollment, then let them go under. Plus, Chinese students steal our research and send it home. Josh Peterson, a full-stack developer and investigative journalist, posted. Conservative commentator Liz Wheeler unleashed on the Trump White House, saying the Chinese students should be banned. Chinese students are all spies for the Chinese Communist Party. They're forced to be. They steal our intellectual property. They steal our tech. They steal our intel. They cozy up to our military, Wheeler posted on X. Trump should ban all Chinese students from U.S. universities, deport them all. This is the dumbest explanation I've heard. By all means, put colleges and universities out of business, Wheeler said in response to Lutnick's defense of Trump's policy. Their business is indoctrinating students into hardened revolutionary Marxists. If you want to save America, you have to razz the university system. Perfect chance to start. Others, meanwhile, agreed with Lutnick's perspective on the issue, saying that it could actually help the United States bring in more talent domestically. This is not as horrible as people are making it out to be. Chinese students on U.S. visas aren't average kids. They represent the top tier of China's youth, podcast host Joshua Reed posted on X. On the other side, we're hosting China's future leaders, scientists, and innovators, which also mean that American culture returns home with them. When you start to think about the emerging tech, this is actually a great idea. Bring the top level students over to the US. This is talent that is being pulled away from China and now becomes a national asset, Reed added. Shout out to everybody coming up in here. Shout out, shout out, shout out. I see we got a couple comments over there I want to touch up on too. Shout out, I see my boy Andre down there as well too. So shout out to Andre Black Flag. Shout out to you as well. You guys make sure y'all retweet this space out. Let me read a couple comments over there on YouTube real quick. Nightfall says, riddle me this. How many of those Chinese do you believe are actually students and the rest are massage parlor employees? Felix Brown says, utterly ridiculous. Nightfall also says, make it make sense. When Trump got back in the office, he sober rattled China ad nauseum. Now he's bending over and opening the door to tons of Chinese citizens. Rob says, why? So Trump is allowing 600,000 of them in. Well, there are new TikTok owners. Nightfall also says China's economy is one of the largest growing in the world. So why are they sending their children here for education? That is a good thing. Shout out to you too, Rob. Shout out to you in the chat over there as well too. I mean, that Felix says, what happened to America first? This is all Trump was talking about. You know, this is everything that he kept talking about. America first, America this, America the youth, the America this, people taking American jobs, this and that, or whatever. Let's not forget, like the article mentioned early on, that this is also, they have negotiations that they're doing with China right now. So this is some kind of business deal here. This is some kind of business deal that they got going on right now between China and the US. It's got to do with those, it's got a lot to do with the actual tariffs and everything else like that. This could be a side deal that the Trump administration is cutting right now in terms of the tariffs. I'm about to say, what in the hell was that? But okay. This could be a side deal that they're cutting. So I don't know what that was, but shout out to Alexandra as well too for the Cash App. I don't know if that was what that was, but I don't know what that was, but that kind of startled me a little bit as well too. But yeah, man, that could be some kind of side deal that the Trump administration has going on right now. That's what I'm thinking. DJ, what's your thought about that? You're not talking about 40 or 50,000. You're talking about over 500,000 Chinese students coming to the country. Moku, I see you up here as well too. So let me get to you, Moku, because I know you be having some issues with the actual. I know you be having some issues with the audio while you be traveling. So go ahead. What's up with you tonight?
What's up? Thanks for the thanks for the lookout. So I'm stable tonight. I took off today. Yeah, man, because I had to catch up on my spaces. But I will say, I'm not surprised by this. Pay attention to what Trump is doing. He's dismantling all these corporations, which we call departments in this government, EPA, DEI, etc. You know, who do you think he's going to put in replacement? All these people he's letting go, these new systems that he's putting in place, or that he's anticipating to put in place that he's not telling anybody about. Your enemy is not going to tell you or lay out his plan right in front of you to destroy you and let you know part by part of what he's doing. No, you got to pay attention to what he's doing since he's been in office. Me, myself, I think this is a grand opportunity for the victims of racism, white supremacy to step in and establish a new system. I'm gonna have plenty more to say on this topic, but that's my immediate answer to your question. I am not surprised. This is Trump implementing his plan, and of course, we, you, me, us, we have not heard anything about it. It's about all of us watching his watching how he moves and what moves he make. And again, this ain't checkers, y'all. This chess. You know, if you're gonna take out the EPA, okay, what's the next step after the EPA? EPA got everything to do with air quality. Well, you're gonna bring some Chinese, you know what I'm saying? Some Chinese students over here that specialize in airborne diseases and, you know, all this other type of stuff that they have been already working on in the midst. So I think we just got to pay attention a little bit closer and not arguing over our thoughts. We should be thinking about 10 times before we speak. I think his actions is due telling here, and if we pay close attention, we'll know exactly what he's doing this for. I land there. Thanks for letting me speak, Toto.
No problem.
And that was me. I rung the bell, Toto.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
he was right on point.
I'm like, what the world? Like, I heard. I'm like, who in the hell did is it a new feature on X they got now? Like, wow, I didn't know what that was. But
yeah, DJ be always hit me in the head. Update your app. It updates twice a week. Update your app. So yeah, when I updated my app, it gave me the option to do those little sound effects.
Yes, sir. And chill up here too, because I want to hear more from you as well too, Moku as well too. So don't go too far. What up though? I know you came up here, but I know you ain't got your hand up. So whenever you want to speak, just put your hand up, and we got you as well too. DJ, based off of what what was said in that article, what was read and stuff like that, and also the actual the temperature of the GOP. The GOP is not happy about this at all. The same people, especially the same people that voted Trump in office behind the whole, we're going to stop illegal immigration. I know people say, well, technically, if you're giving out student visas, these aren't illegal immigrants as well, too. But let's be clear here. His party and the people that put him in office, they're really against immigration as a whole, totally. And when you start talking about bringing in 600,000 Chinese, and you heard the actual replies on there from, Marjorie Taylor Greene and a bunch of other people, just other people as well that voiced their opinion as well too. They're really concerned about the actual education system here in America and Americans being displaced in terms of that as well too. Now I know at the end the gentleman was saying that, hey, this is a great thing. We're taking the best and the brightest minds of China and we're bringing them over here to the United States, and China doesn't have them and this and that. But also in that article I read, people also, they're worried about being spied on. They're worried about intellectual theft. They're worried about a number of things, that potentially that they believe, and this is not my opinion. This is just some of the stuff, and I'm paraphrasing some of the stuff that was in that article. A lot of these people believe that, hey, in a sense, China's sending little spies over here to go ahead and get all they can from the United States and go back home and sell everything that they can and stuff like that as well too. So, we've been having this whole intellectual beef between China and the U.S. for a long time where, the United States has accused China on a number of instances of stealing their intellectual properties as well too. So this is really interesting as well too. Like I said, we covered China before with the police stations a couple years ago, me and DJ, about the police stations that was popping up here in America. I didn't understand it at the time. I did not understand how a country like America could have actually Chinese police stations in America. And that topic is really cool now. They don't talk about that at all. They don't mention that at all. But the 600,000 Chinese students that may be coming over here as well too. And then Trump is putting a fear tactic in, saying, well, if we don't get them, then the bottom 15% of the colleges are going to fall out, the universities and this and that. So all of a sudden, again, and this is the same thing the Democrats say in terms of, hey, if we don't have illegal immigrants over here, then who's gonna do these jobs? Trump is also using that. He's also using that same talking point as well too, and say, hey, well, if we don't have an influx of foreign students coming over here, then our college education system is going to go down the toilet as well too. So, DJ, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, it ain't all about Trump saying that, because you got the Democrats have been saying the same thing for years. Chuck Schumer is saying the same thing. hey, we don't have the influx or the capacity or the infrastructure or the right amount of people. We don't have the knowledge to build up America and to handle and repair the infrastructure. But like, wasn't it Americans that built it in the first place? Black Americans specifically? You know, folks that came over through Ellis Island through the years then might have built up other parts of America as immigrants that came here and immigrated. So how their descendants don't have the knowledge to help build up America and keep the upkeep? Why do you need to send pork that is raised and bred here in America over to China to be slaughtered and repackaged just to send it back over here? And not to say that's a Trump thing either. When we talk about the school system, remember the school admission scandal with the colleges? The vast majority of people that got caught were Asian descent and no more so from China. So, and these were Chinese dignitaries, CCP. I know it's been a minute since you heard me say that, so we back. You know what I'm saying? You know, Hong Kong business folks that are billionaires, the folks that are fleeing their country of China, you know, mainly specifically Hong Kong, you know, they came through the border just like a lot of these other illegal immigrants. And what's messing with the cartels down in Mexico got a hotel strictly for Chinese Asian immigrants that are coming from over Asia. And they got money. You gotta remember this. You know what I'm saying? These folks are coming with money. So there's a hotel down in Mexico right now that's under the protection of the cartel that house these illegal Asians. I ain't even gonna single it out to the Chinese because we see the Koreans doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I know we cool with Taiwan, but they be over here too. You know what I'm saying? Thailand and all these other jokers. So they got a hotel for these people. They first go there legally. You know what I'm saying? Go to the hotel because you could just fly from China to Mexico, no problem. And then after that, they get with the border jumper crew. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they'll bring them up through the border. They using apps like TikTok. So now Trump all of a sudden saying, don't sell TikTok. We're trying to get an American company to buy it. That's bull crap. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of that stuff because you don't know what type of coding that algorithm has that is really not just collecting and mining data on us Americans, but obviously if you got folks like Trump and a Biden who's on there who are political figures, you know, your world leader figures, what type of data they mining from you? You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget about the Chinese spy balloon that went all the way from the top of Washington State, you know what I'm saying, where the Seahawks play at, and drifted all the way down somewhere near North Carolina, I believe, where the Panthers play at. You know what I mean? So basically, that one weather balloon done mapped the middle of America from east to west. You know what I'm saying? Or west to east, rather. So it's like, and just to add this thing in, since we're talking about the west side, let's talk about all these specifically Chinese entities that own farmland here in America next to our military bases, nonetheless. So it's like, hold on, Trump, you playing a dirty game right now because this is stuff that American people, black and white alike, you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't got nothing to do with the yellow folks, because even the yellow folks want y'all yellow people gone. Straight up. They don't want y'all coming in here in the droves like that because y'all Yakuzas and Chinese mafias, y'all commit crimes in these Asian neighborhoods, shake down store owners. We see it in the movies, you know what I'm saying? We see it, you know what I mean? But yet and still, the one thing we always talk about when it comes to things like reparations and the black state, whoop-de-whoop, these people got a country, so, you know, folks over here in America ain't gonna beat their butt too bad because then we'll have to be at war, you know what I'm saying? But, like, when the same thing happened to black folks, we ain't got no one to have our back in that sense. You got the Chinese over in Africa, the Africans, man, this is why we ain't messing with y'all in this sense. Y'all over there, you know, letting them beat y'all up, take the land, do these 99-year lease deals only to raise the interest rate so high that you can't even afford to pay it back over a course of 100 years. You feel what I'm saying? They doing the same thing down to the Panama Canal. This is what Secretary Pete Hegseth is saying. Hey, you know, the Panama Canal is what all, you know, nations to pass through, free willingly trade. stop and go as you please, keep it safe, and go on to your next destination route. While when we go down there now, it's all these Chinese flags down there. They got a hold of this port, that port in the Panama Canal. Nah, we taking it over again. You know what I'm saying? So, and Xi Jinping, he mad at, I can't think of the company's name right now, that had large shareholder space down there in the Panama Canal. He sold his shares to BlackRock. So, the Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party, they mad at that Chinese business owner for doing that. So he can never go more or less back to China. And hopefully he ain't got no family out there in China because they pretty much unalive at this point. You feel what I'm saying? Let's talk about how, China recently, I ain't going to say recently, but this was, I guess, under the Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe administration, when they had met, you're talking about what each other don't like, each other's side don't like about each other's country and the government. United States brings up the atrocity with the Uyghurs and all this other stuff. Y'all probably heard about these people, Uyghur Muslims. They practice their religion, their faith, and they go about their business, don't bother nobody. But their own people, Chinese, are persecuting them and arresting them, unaliving them, and taking their organs at free will like they're some animal. You know what I'm saying? Like you going into the forest or down a boar. That's what the Chinese Communist Party is doing to their people. So the United States expressed that. Here's the clapback from China. You can't tell us what to do or how we're treating someone else. Look how you treat black people. But hold on a minute, China. When anyone melanated go to your country, you're quick to call them the N-word. I just saw a video of some African blogger, travel blogger, the bro traveling whatever through China, wherever he going. And some random kids with their parents standing right there, just over there calling them the N-word. Parents standing right there, not even in knowledge of saying anything. Don't even care. You see the how China be remixing our stuff when it comes to like Hollywood or movies. Go look at the Black Panther over here and look at the Black Panther in China. Completely covered up our brother Chadwick Boseman's face. So to the point you can't see him. What kind of crap is that, China? You know what I'm saying? Y'all anti-black. Think about all the crap they've been selling us here in this country. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what we're really eating when we was eating that stuff growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Do anybody really know? You know what I'm saying? Even down to the chicken wings. Give me a 4-piece with fry hard. Chop it up with the hot sauce. Put some marble sauce on it too. We don't really know. Because we don't know these people like that. You know what I'm saying? When you go over in their country, they use gutter oil. Gutter oil, y'all. Look this up. Gutter oil. To refry fresh fruit. You know what I mean? So gutter oil, you could go down in the sewer and just skim the surface of the liquid. It's oily because water and oil separate. You know what I mean? You could just skim the top of the liquid. It's automatically oil at the top. You know what I'm saying? Certain oils don't float down to the bottom. So how do we know they haven't done that here in America, yo? You know what I'm saying? All the years folks done said things like, hey, man, my cat missing, yo. Man, them rib tips is fire, kitty. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Heathcliff, Garfield, y'all my knackers forever. You know what I'm saying? I ate Mondays too, bro. But y'all tasty. You know what I'm saying? Straight up with the sauce. Because that's what our OGs be saying. Them Chinese make anything taste good because they can put the sauce on it so you don't really know what you're eating. So I know there's a lot to unpack. I ain't just knacker-babbling. This is real stuff right here. So, hey, Trump, White House, why you need 600,000 Chinese kids to come over here when there's 600,000 homeless kids on the streets of America that don't got no type of education and is starving for attention? In the sense of wanting to go to school, get a job, live American lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, be a part of society, whoop-de-whoop, not get in no trouble. But, this is America. And now they're doing it even more so to white people, that they see that now. So this is why you got things like the QAnon, MAGA, Proud Boys, all this other stuff, because these poor whites in Kentucky and Idaho and Nebraska, they see now that, hey, we've been getting done dirty too. But as long as the black people are getting done dirty, we've been okay with that. And now you're starting to see some of them like, Dag, you was right, we're sorry. You're starting to see a lot of these Hispanics talk about like, Dag, You know, I always thought racial profiling was when y'all was lying black people. Why are we lying about how we just walking down the street coming from school or from the store getting something for our parents so we can all eat tonight? And the cops just throw over against the wall talking about we got drugs and next we know we in jail for the next 5 months. Don't even know how we got here. Gun charges, all of you making this stuff up. So now you believers, but guess what? You on your own too. Or ice. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to deal with you no more. Hey, get these Asians up out of here that never supported us. Why you never see these Asians, and I'm talking all of them across the board, not just CCP, ever throw a free chicken wing day? You know what I'm saying? Again, we don't know who we eating, but all the money we don't put into their establishments, they done Hong and Wong and Dong and Chong, done sent their kids, grandkids, great to school off your black dot. And they can't even buy one of your items that you got for sale locally in the neighborhood as a black business owner. But yet and still, every day, our people go into these people's establishments, eat this stuff like you a zombie, bro. You know what I'm saying? Straight up like you a zombie. You know what I mean? At one point in time, fine, that was the thing to do. Order some Chinese food. You know what I mean? Stop that, because if you want some Chinese food, you better go to the store, get your own ingredients, chicken, sesame, whatever. You know, I know Moko, stay away from the soy sauce. You know what I'm saying? But you might need a splash of it to make it get that hit. You know what I'm saying? Go get your own ingredients and whip your own General Tso's up. They got sauces on the shelf in the store. You know what I'm saying? Or figure out how to make it from scratch. You got a blender at home, a processor, all this other stuff. We're going to have to start really changing our mindset, how we do business with these people. So, again, they don't want our black kids to go into these prestigious schools, but these Asian Chinese folks can't even pass the test because they cheaters. But you know we studied for it. So how they just calling us saying we ain't got the skills to pay the bills, or we ain't got the education to get the job? Because you know, if a black person there, you had your face in them books. You ain't got time to play because ain't no one here for us, man. I yield there. CCP told out.
All right. Let me go ahead and get to Moku. And what up? If you want to speak, like I say, go ahead and raise your hand. Shout out to all you guys down in the listener section. Shout out Black Majority State. You guys go ahead and retweet out the space. We definitely want to hear what you guys got to say. A couple comments real quick on YouTube I want to read real quick. Okay. Kimberly says the U.S. shouldn't allow any students in front, rival or enemy states, especially those with a history of stealing intellectual property, spying, and sabotaging our industry and environment. Rob says Trump don't a puck about no education. He needs workers, fam. Kimberly say shouldn't sell land to rival or enemy states either. Even allies should be given a lease only option. I agree 100% with that. She also said, why should he care if the indoctrination centers lose money? They abandoned the U.S. student decades ago. I can't deny that as well either. Shout out to everybody coming up in here again as well too. Moku, go ahead. Professor, what's up? I see you up here as well too. So shout out to Professor up in the space as well too. I did want to mention this one thing, DJ, because you said something about you were saying that the Democrats are doing the same thing, and I think you say Chuck Schumer. But Chuck Schumer and them and the Democrats don't make any bones about it. They tell you straight up that, hey, in order for America to be the best, you got to bring in new blood and foreigners and immigrants and everything else like that. So they don't make any bones about it. While Trump was supposed to be 10 toes down, he was dead set against putting anybody in front of Americans and everything else like that as well too. So that's a difference. The Democrats let you know when they're running for election that, hey, we're going to champion immigrant rights and we're going to champion bringing people over here for foreign investment and everything else like that. Trump's main thing and what got him elected was taking a stance against this kind of stuff like that as well too. And I understand that giving them visas mean they wouldn't be illegal immigrants. And I know people say, well, you know, they're bringing the top Chinese students over to this country to help in this and that or what, except in everything as well too. But had Trump said this election time when he was campaigning that, hey, you know what, when I get in office, I'm going to bring in 600,000 Chinese students and give them visas, he would have had a real problem with his camp. He would have had a real problem with the GOP and stuff like that. So he was smart enough not to say that. and I mentioned this in spaces before, that really they talk a good one. A lot of these GOP, these Republicans talk a good one about immigration and this and that or whatever. But I said this months ago before he became president. I said you got two groups that want immigrants for two different purposes. One wants to go ahead and get their political back in the Democrats, and the other one wants cheap labor and anything money related that they can get as well too. So Rob, he didn't fool anybody, because I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Kamala Harris either as well too. So he didn't fool anybody, because I said it a number of times in this space that big business, that's the big back of the GOP. They believe in getting as cheap labor as possible. They need people to go out there and do the gardens and farm and this and that, whatever. They want to they'll use that cheap. Now they talk all this about people coming over the border and this and that, whatever, but they don't want to totally end illegal immigration coming over here as well too. They don't want to end it because they know it's big money, billions of dollars they make off of illegal migrants. So they don't want that to end as well too. Now their base, yeah, the average Joe Smo in their base, yeah, they wanted to end, but the people that's actually running the show and calling the shots, they don't want it to end. So that Negro, I see you were trying to get up here, but I don't know if you were having some issues, but you get a chance, you can come back up here. Moku, go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, I've been saying for some years, white supremacists play both sides. This is what you see Trump doing, just like Toda, WPI pointed out. In the beginning, he wasn't talking about this. He was actually talking about against letting any immigrants into the United States. I mean, especially he was going in on China. To now switch the tone and say, "Oh, well, that's over 500,000. Letting them in." That's definitely white supremacy playing both sides of the argument. You never see any of these Koreans to point. As much as we done had the chicken box, four wings and a half, they have never given out anything to the hoods that they take from, that they, set up shop in. Get free taxes and all these different little credit that we set up the foundation for.
You kind of getting robotical there. You're getting robotical, yeah.
All right. So, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. And on the back end, you never see them staying in those neighborhoods either. Okay? They get that money, especially here in the DMV. They got their whole own community that you got to pay a toll to even get into. Okay? So that's another thing I want to point out. They come over here and then create their own, not even create, they come over here and then given their own enclave to live in. I don't see no Koreans living where I'm living at, not even out in the white area. You know what I'm saying? So this is a due tell sign right here that everything is set up for them. Trump playing both sides of the argument. This ain't a surprise, but this is part of the white supremacist plan. And if everybody keep going along and get along and keep messing around with messing around with the actual job of dismantling this system so that this can't happen, so it won't be allowed to happen. Okay, I'll get you some water. So it won't be allowed to happen. It's going to continue to happen, and on a mass scale. And when it happens, we'll just be on the sideline pointing out that we talked about this years before, but never really prepared for it. And the worst thing about this is our babies, my babies, your babies, going to be looking at us like, all this talking y'all was doing in the space, what the F y'all was doing? Mommy, Daddy, what was y'all doing? Mommy, Daddy. I know, that's what I'm saying. So, We really got to step it up and not and look. I don't know. Nobody's acting surprised or being surprised. Really, when he first when Trump dismantled the first department corporation when he came in called the EPA, we should have been right on it, establishing some form of justice and please
You breaking up. Yeah, you breaking up, Moku.
All right, I'll come back.
Yeah, you was cooking, but then you started kind of breaking up there a little bit as well too. But I get what you're trying to say as well too, Moku. And like I say, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what his base does as well too. Like I say, a lot of us I pretty much knew he was just talking when he was talking about this and that or whatever, because I know people always talk about handlers. I know his handlers weren't just going to let him do all the things that he was talking about doing as well too. You start hearing that, election time, and as he secured the actual he secured the presidency, people say, well, you just can't go ahead and force and start kicking immigrants out the country like this and that or whatever, because it's going to mess up the economy. And you had all kind of economists and everything saying that as well too. So the true testament is going to come from his actual party. What do the people in power? And of course, everybody in his cabinet, they're going to go along with it. We know they're going to go along with it, but the actual other senators and congressmen and the GOP, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they say about this as well too. You're going to always have some people that's going to agree with it, say, hey, you know what, it's an infusion of talent and we need it in this country, and so that'll be the model that they'll be throwing out there. But at the same time, like I said, he didn't mention any of this running in his campaign, because he knew that wasn't going to go anywhere. So he did a smart thing, the way he was able to go ahead and pull it out at the last minute. Professor, I know you just got up in here. Did you want to add anything to the conversation?
Well, I did have a question for y'all three, the hosts and the two co-hosts, and anybody in the space really. But in a system that, it's clear, according to us. All right, I'm talking about everybody in the space. According to the evidence, as long as we have been living, it's clear that these people, and when I say these people, I'm clearly talking about the racist white supremacists. It's clear that they have chosen that a system of deceit and violence, either direct or indirect, is clearly better to them than a system of justice and correctness. So I ask to the panel, do you see any way of a form of justice being done in this system that they have already chosen of deceit and violence, either directly or indirectly, to the victims of racism, white supremacy, working in our favor? I don't care who we have in the office. Do you see that when they have clearly made the choice? Okay, we got these two systems. Forget the justice system and correctness. We went deceit and violence, directly or indirectly. I just wonder if anybody in the space sees any justice coming from that, no matter who you have in the office of that system.
Oh, I know my mic was on mute. Go ahead. Either one of y'all can answer it.
I would say, Brother Muko, I don't see any justice coming out of the system that we are currently in regarding our people. Our people cannot look to this system to assist or to render swift or even slow justice in the cases of any of our people who are being harmed, or I should say we are being harmed every day in this system. And as we see every day, as we are harmed in the system, there's nothing that's being done. We got people that's in leadership positions who can see these harms happening to us daily, and they continue to, well, I guess you could say, really just ignore. And they don't try to pass any or push any legislation to try to correct any of these issues. And it's sad because we're talking about the people that look like us that don't speak out. So if we don't see them speaking out, we know that the pink ones they're not going to speak out at all. And everybody can clearly see these crimes are being committed. So I don't see how you can't see it. It's happening right before everybody's eyes. So Brother Muko, you are absolutely right on this. There is no justice that can come out of this system. And so as we look at this whole this new Chinese thing that Trump has come up with now, where he's inviting 600,000 Chinese students over. This is, like you said, is another plan for the white supremacists to do harm, because that's exactly what all this stuff does. Anytime you look at these folks when they pulling these immigration, stunts, that's what I call them, because Chuck Schumer was one of the ones that was behind a lot of this recent immigration that was coming across the Mexican border, because he was one of the ones that was advocating for it. So here you have Trump, of course, now advocating for this type of immigration of Chinese flooding in. So once again, this is another hurdle for us to have to go through. And the only way Black American people are going to get through any of this is we're gonna have to bring our people into the Black majority states. That's really the only answer I can give to anybody as it relates to all of this. So when we look at the immigration, when we look at the constant murders, the constant maltreatment in healthcare, we look at the continued benign neglect by our political leaders, we can see that the only way we're going to get anything in this country is we're going to have to get into these Black majority states and make it happen ourselves, because we're not going to get any assistance from anybody else. Nobody wants to help Black America, but Black America has always been what? We've always been there for others. And this is where we are now. In 2025, there's no one that's coming to look and help or save or want to align themselves to any of these issues that we are talking about daily in these spaces, okay? None of these other groups, but all these other groups have always used us for their issues. And this is why I've been telling you guys that we don't need to go out and put nothing on the line for anybody else anymore. We did it for a long time. We have advocated for too many people, and now we don't have anybody that wants to advocate for us. So that's where I'm at on this, and I'm going to land right there.
I appreciate that, Professor. I'm going to say I still believe that this whole thing with the Chinese students and the visas and everything else, I believe that this is a negotiation that Trump has going with China about these tariffs. And I think that's one way that maybe that he can lower the actual tariffs that China's putting on the United States as well, too. So I think it's a ploy, in terms of negotiation to go ahead and try to maybe not get hit with the kind of tariffs that China was going to place on the United States in retaliation as well, too. So I think it's about negotiations and business and trade deals and everything else as well, too. So, that's my personal opinion about it, that that's what he's doing right there. And I'd be interested to hear what a lot of the black Republicans on the app, that a lot of black people that supported him, what do they feel about this as well, too? Because I know if this was a Democrat president doing this, if this was Biden, he had won re-election and he did this, there would be a lot of people saying something about this as well, too. So the people that actually, and I'm not talking about those that didn't vote for him. I'm talking about the ones that actually vote for him and support him and everything else like that as well too. I'd be interested to get their their opinion on this matter as well too, because there are a lot of black people that did throw their their support behind Trump in this past election. I didn't vote for him, but I didn't vote for Joe Biden as well too, even though I did vote. So let me just make that clear as well too. But I didn't vote for not Joe Biden, but Kamala Harris. I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Because you imagine if Kamala Harris had won and she did something like this, there would probably be 100 Twitter spaces right now going on talking about this exact same thing as well too. So like I said, I'm no Kamala Harris fan or supporter by any stretch of the imagination, but I would be interested to hear what like some of the actual Blacks for Trump people have to say about this situation as well too, because I knew it was going to be something. I know Trump's a politician and Trump's a businessman first and foremost as well too, and you can see the kind of money he's made since he's been in office as well too. A lot of some of the things he's been doing as well too. So just interested to hear what those that the black people that did support Trump, because like I said, I'm to the point now. I believe that we shouldn't support any political party. It should just be based strictly on the candidate. If you can find a candidate that's going to do something for you, then that's a candidate that you should support. But just in terms of being a Republican or Democrat, I think we need to kind of really, really move away from that and start looking more into the independent role and seeing who can do what for us. And then we can throw our support behind that person. But very interesting. Like I say, I really believe that this whole thing with the tariffs and everything, because you hear Trump talking about the money that they made from the tariffs and how the tariffs are playing a part in this and that. And we saw the game of chicken that China and the U.S. and even Canada for a little while was having with each other. So I would be real interested to find out exactly how do the tariffs play a part and Trump coming up with this idea as well too. It seemed like this guy's just going from one thing to another. You got troops coming into the National Guard coming into D.C. Now we hear that it may be possibly going into Chicago and other cities as well too. It's just constant back and forth. You talk about opening up Martin Luther King files. It just constantly just jumping all over the board and stuff like that as well too. So very interesting to hear what people got to say about that. DJ, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, I just wanted Moko to repeat one more time because I couldn't hear because his phone changed again. One more time, big dog. Be more codified too, by the way. Get your codified t-shirts, y'all. Moko, you there?
Thanks, DJ. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. My question was, it is clear to us from the evidence that these people, and when I say these people, I'm definitely talking about the racist white supremacists have chosen a system of deceit and violence, whether directly or or indirectly. So they had a choice to choose either a system of justice.
Mocha, you breaking up again. Mocha, you breaking up again. Yeah, I don't know. You might have to get somewhere in the house, but your reception. Okay, why?
Like crazy, so bad. But I hope I'm clear now. But and it's clear that the racist white supremacists chose the system of deceit and violence, whether directly or non-directly. I mean, directly or indirectly. So us seeing that they made this choice and they have already made their choices, they've been running with it. Do any of us see any justice coming out of the system of deceit and violence, whether directly or indirectly? Do we see justice coming out of that? That was my question.
Well, Moku, I mean, we're pretty much all in that same age group and maybe a couple years younger or older, whatever. But I mean, you pretty much can answer that yourself. I mean, it doesn't matter who's in office. Nobody's looking out for black people. So, I mean, that's pretty much, that's pretty much the gist of it right there. Nobody, whether it's a Democrat or it's a Republican in office, nobody's looking out for black people. We understand that the country and the world is ran by, you know, white supremacy. That's understood as well too. But, you know, just on this topic right here, this was something that Trump himself did, you know, in terms of going ahead with this deal right here. Nobody had to twist Donald Trump's arm or this and that, whatever. This was something that he came up with, and this is something that he's plotting and schemed on. So, you know, it is what it is. And like I said, he's no different. And then we said it all the time, like there's really no difference between the parties or whatever. There's a slight difference in ideology, and there's a slight difference in one party being, you know, just outward how they feel about you and stuff like that, while the other one, you know, keeps it to themselves. But there's really no difference between either one of these parties. And it doesn't matter which one's in office. They never really generally ever do anything for black people. So it's pretty much that's to me, that's like the simplest thing I can see. I don't see I don't see anything that Democrats have done for black people. I don't see anything that Republicans have done for black people. And unless you really hold their feet to the fire, I don't think they ever will do anything. And you know, and the one party that you can affect holding their feet to the fire is the Democrats. But they still, even though they lost this election, they still overwhelmingly get black support in this country. You still get in a general election, a presidential election, you're still going to get at least 85% of black people to vote Democrat. So that's really, even though they say, hey, you know, well, we're not getting 90% or we're not getting the 88% or whatever, you know, they're still getting a high percentage of black people. Overwhelmingly, black people still voting Democrat. And the Republicans are like, hey, the hell with y'all. So you're pretty much, you know, in limbo with both of these groups right here. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I just want to try to get some clarification. When you say justice, I mean, I know we understand it, and pretty much I'm with what Toda said. But justice in what way, or not even what way, but what type of justice are you thinking of we should expect from either side of the party? Now, as far as Trump go, I voted MAGA-LAGA, you know what I'm saying? Get these Hispanic, Latino, and African, Pan-African, Jamaican, whatever you is, up out of here. Because those are the vast majority of folks that, in my opinion, us Negroes are having issues with. The Asians, they do not live in black neighborhoods. I'll repeat, the Asians do not live in black neighborhoods. They barely live within a melting pot of neighborhoods, unless you're like in New York City or like LA or something like that. Have you ever seen a homeless Chinese person or a homeless Vietnamese somewhere in the street in the hood? You probably can't even think. Yeah, message bell. You know what I'm saying? So when you say justice, I guess, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and two things could be true at the same time. Because according to the White House, what's old boy name? Let me go right here to the chat. According to the White House, because they funny as heck for doing this, man. Mr. MS-13 himself, Kilmar Abrego, is not a Maryland dad. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Be More Codified. Shout out to Be More Club. You know, we arguing about who created this Be More Club stuff in the chats too, Moko. So I got to get you. But yeah, you know, I see some justice because, like, some black Americans.
Yeah, DJ, somebody wanted to say hi.
Hi, baby. How you doing?
DJ.
That's the remix, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, CCB.
You heard you talking. She like, can I say hi to DJ? Can I say hi?
Word up, man. So yeah, that's really, I guess, you know, what would be my you know, I guess, and I ain't even saying that's justice in a sense, because we don't condone, you know what I'm saying, you know, families getting split up and broken up. But hey, Obama was the real deporter in chief. He didn't want to put these babies in cages. Trump told that to Biden. I asked Biden that. Biden just stood up there on stage, looked at him like he was having a you know what I mean, some type of Alzheimer attack or something. You know what I'm saying? Can't remember all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Well, you was the vice president at the time for 8 years. You don't remember that? You know what I mean? So I ain't saying what, you know, Trump is doing all this to be in favor of us. I'm just saying I think this is a good time to start resetting stuff and start doing things. I know y'all folks here to not even to spin the narrative, but the arguments are like Trump, oh, you know, he's doing this to the black museums and he cleaning up DC. Say some black people want their neighborhood cleaned up. They don't want the little youngers out there standing on the front stoops where folks that live in the same area, building a house or whatever it is, can't even walk through to get their own little establishment at least. We understand this, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We understand our folks out here. Some of us out here causing some terror division within the neighborhood. But at least paying Bondi, can we see what's going on in the ghettos of Kentucky? You know what I'm saying? Because we know it's white hoods out there and in Nebraska and all the white stuff they're doing on the 6 o'clock news. Level the playing field since it's about Mary, according to Trump. You feel what I'm saying? Now, back to the Chinese students. Okay, now here's the problem with a lot of this, because it's all about actually getting to an actual critical answer. When black people were coming up in America during the post-civil rights, for the most part, you could kind of somewhat say, you know what I'm saying? But, we was kind of gaining ground even before that of obtaining the American dream. So once America, aka the federal government and white folks that are adjacent on the ground, sheriff, dog catcher, comptroller, mayor, governor, whoever, and your local neighbor see that, oh, wow, Mr. Willis over there got that brand new 72 Coupe DeVille, you know what I'm saying? I don't like that itch, you know what I'm saying? Gonna drop a dime on this joker, you know what I'm saying? And that's what happened, yo. They got our folks up out of these places like Detroit, Steel City, Pittsburgh ain't Steel City no more. We import steel from China. And you got, because I follow construction. I ain't in the trades no more and like that, but I still follow this because I like to do it. Work with my hands. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? And if your man ain't got no toolbox, ladies, you gotta break them up. We gotta break up with them. Come get with DJ. You know what I'm saying? Or what up, though, or something like that. Or Professor, we all got toolboxes in the house. You know what I'm saying? We can repair it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, they done shifted all this stuff into China. Well, all of a sudden now, when COVID hit, all America, now here you go having an N-word wake-up call, and you realize that, like, hold up a minute, man, these jokers produce all our medicine, all our toys for kids, certain food, you know what I mean? You got to start thinking about this stuff. So now they don't put the white folks in a dire position. The Chinaman, a.k.a. Mr. Yellow, you know what I mean? Don't put the cracker knackers in a dire position where they like, oh, no, hold up. We ain't going through this. We don't care if the black people go through it or got my fingers up the brown people, but we the brown people too, but you know what I'm saying. Go through it, but we ain't going to go through it. You know what I mean? So now all of a sudden you see the demographic shift where it's like, hey, we need to shift everything back to America. Make America great again. Build up our great cities. And start manufacturing at home. Hey, any of y'all foreign countries want to come over here? I ain't gonna hit you with the 50% tariff. And this is why Trump shot with the art of the deal. I ain't gonna hit you with the 50% tariffs. Just move your business on over to America. Pick a state. You know what I'm saying? Don't care if it's red or blue. Just go on over there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we can start getting some of that tax break. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the country, but at the end of the day, you might be able to get a job, I suppose. So when you talk about justice, it just depends on how you're really looking at it, I guess, you know what I mean? But the one thing I'm always say about when it comes to justice, we need to start creating our own form of justice. You see what I'm saying? During this Trump administration, in a sense, hey, have any of y'all done what I told you to do? Do you got your tax ID? Because when Trump talking business. Ain't no one talking jobs. They talking AI and business, yo. So are you computer savvy or literate? You know what I'm saying? In that sense, can you know how to work a cell phone immaculately? You know how to use Microsoft Word and all this other stuff in these AI and do graphic designs? Because that's the future. We're in the future now. We're here now. Yeah, I understand certain things still got to be done manually, cooking, certain cleaning, you know what I'm saying? Those jobs ain't going nowhere time soon. You feel what I'm saying? It's even down to the trucking. They don't got enough infrastructure to here in America to fully autonomize, the trucking industry. But even that is changing because if you go look down at Arizona, the vast majority of Arizona and the western, I think the whole entire west side back to Arizona of Texas has autonomous fleets of trucks where there's no man.
They're running them all the way up to Seattle, bro. They're running them all the way up to Seattle. Yeah,
right.
You're right.
Well, I'm talking. Well, go ahead, my bad. No, I'm just talking that the mapping, how they got it mapped out. Yeah, you might have to. I'm pretty sure there are autonomous vehicles all running all across this country, but if they don't have the map coordinates locally, it has to have a man in the cabin to manually stop that machine. You know what I mean? But down in Arizona, in the western part of Texas, they have, it's almost like Amazon with their robots through the warehouse. They understand and work off QR codes, which is like a map still. You know what I'm saying? So the vast majority of Arizona and the western part, I know for a fact that Texas, and this is the same company, has mapped out those geographic areas and are running trucks autonomously with no man in the cabin, straight up. And there's a lot of this stuff is like, built by these Chinese too. So okay, let's talk about that real quick, and I'll let watch me go. So the other argument is why we need to do away with China at this point, and not even in the sense of not doing trade with them. It's not about that, because you do trade with and barter who you want to barter with in this world. No one can tell you different. Not even America. America can't tell us if we can or can't barter with China because they not messing with them. That's your problem. You feel what I'm saying? We ain't got a problem with Ling Ling. You feel what I'm saying? Or Ho and junk. They can come into the hoods and whip it up. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't got no problem with nobody, right? So the only problem is, again, they don't patronize us. So the narrative is, okay, we need to start going online, find out what products that was banned from China that is legitimate products. You feel what I'm saying? But it's something wrong with it where, China was shipping it over here with lead paint. Kids' toys. I don't want my little niece over here, be my qualified niece, to get no lead paint toy. You know what I'm saying? Because, kids put stuff in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be too sure, watching your own kids sometimes, because, kids, we was kids. We was sneaky. You feel what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I mean? We do stuff like that. So you want to buy the most constructive product. So in case you wind up turning your head for a split second, all right, the baby ain't going to be hard because, you chewing on a toy. You feel what I'm saying? That's crazy, yo. So, hey, why aren't we trying to enter those industries and take it over and start manufacturing? If Trump's talking all his manufacturing stuff and bringing things back into America, well, hey, why aren't black people getting on it? You know what I'm saying? And I think according to some folks that said they went to Washington just recently, you know what I'm saying? They said that why Trump said that, I'm going to say allegedly still, but Trump said allegedly that why the black people don't never ask for anything. Because we got to go to work tomorrow, Trump. So that's the only thing we really looking for. Go to work, turn up on the weekends, and do it all over again. Go next week. So,
the black people ask for shit, we just get shot after we ask for it.
Yeah, that too. Watching language. So, at the end of the day, go get your tax ID. Start coming up with some type of idea. Because let me tell you, y'all, Trump just dumped $100 million into the DOL, Department of Labor. So therefore, meaning things like Job Corps, it ain't going barely under, because that's only a drop in the bucket anyway. $1.5 billion of the budget to teach a kid, an American, Trump and Chuck Schumer. You could be teaching our American kids instead of spending all this money on the Pentagon and all this other stuff. And no one still found that $100 trillion or whatever it was, $100 billion that went missing from the Pentagon all them years ago. Still ain't came up with that money, you know what I'm saying? So I think y'all could take some money from somewhere, Doge, take some money from somewhere and double and quadruple up on places like Job Corps. And especially since you ended the Department of Education, which you ain't need them anyway, in my opinion. And let the education go back to the state. So that way it make it easier for us in the black state to teach our kids. We ain't got to send them to the WPIs, but go ahead, Toda.
I was going to say, let that Negro, let him say something. I know you got your hand up, but go ahead, that Negro.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. News Toda, Salute to you as usual, DJ and brother Professor. I appreciate y'all.
Okay, it sounds like your phone artifacting to us. That me.
Can y'all hear
I
me?
think it's your janky phone, DJ. You know what I'm saying? You know you
That's-
should be contagious.
that sound like-
your stuff. You know your stuff be contagious.
That
DJ.
do sound like that Negro. That do sound like your phone though. Go ahead though, but it did sound like your phone.
Okay, what about now?
It's still kind of yeah.
You still kind of.
Yeah, it sounds like it's still in the Matrix.
It was DJ, but it was you. I was trying to blame it on DJ for you, Negro. I was trying, buddy.
Good looking. Damn DJ.
Yeah, we ain't heard you say. I know you was a great one, Mocha, but we ain't heard none. See, that's why y'all need the social tech support. See that?
You always got one to come back with.
Updates.
Hey, but we're not gonna. I'm gonna make this a short space tonight, so I'm gonna let a couple people talk, and then we're gonna get ready to probably close it out. Let me see if that Negro, if his phone is decent.
We got Big Joe. Big Joe's brother DJ got big jokes. What about now, y'all?
It sounds a little bit better, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. Salute. Oh man, brother Wuko and DJ, boy, y'all gonna have me in stitches. Salute, brother News Toter, Professor, and brother DJ. Peace, power, and American Negro reparations to the room. Actually, let me do my thing, y'all. Peace, power, and American Negro reparations, specifically for the descendants of the people group emancipated from U.S.-sanctioned chattel slavery between the years 1863 and 1865. These were the same ancestral blessings that built this country with slave labor. Per the lands promised in Special Field Orders 15, January 16, 1865. Trump is going to allow 600,000 Chinese students in the U.S. What's new, y'all? This dude has been finding, regardless of who is in office, they're finding ways to oppress us, right? I've heard it said about 7 times in this space, and I'm going to make it 8. We need to go to a specific area where our people are building, where our people are growing, and where our people have ideology set on our people succeeding come hell or high water. When you're in a position with like minds thinking like that, like the core of this group does, the only direction you can go is up. Because as we all know very well, we've been sitting at the bottom for far long enough. So I just want to come in here and chime in. Hey, do what the guy in the wheelchair, the mulatto in the wheelchair is doing. Move to Delaware. You know what I'm saying? Come out there, help us build, help us unite, help us show that this strategy will work. We just got to work it, you know. AA says the best. It works if you work it. And that's reality, man. And so knowing that, now it's time to actually poop or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying? That's the level of strategy I believe we're at. Either you're going to poop or you're going to get off the pot, because I got a boo-boo, right? So one way or the other, let's move, y'all. And follow me, follow the others, amazing, brilliant Black American Negro, Freeman, however you self-identify, follow us, because this is real. My stuff, it's Delaware tomorrow. So, you know, and I'm not far behind it. So come on, y'all, let's build. And brother Muko, I got those ham radios too. So brother Arenza, he's going to have a ham radio coming up here where we're going to kind of work through my bugs and get into it. And he's going to teach us how to go and get your license for those ham radios so you can broadcast and do your thing and actually transmit. So by the time I get out to you, brother Muko, I should have them things locked in and ready. So yeah,
Yeah,
like
we're
I
definitely
said,
going to be locked in at the same time. And for everybody, it's going to be on the 31st. If you didn't get the invite, Lorenzo did a really good job hitting everybody's inbox. But if you didn't get an invite, like Negro said, yeah, they're definitely going to be breaking down that ham radio information. And I would implore everyone in the space, go get a ham radio.
yes, sir. It's $100. It cost me $130. I got two. Like I said, I'm gonna make sure Brother Muko has one, so I can call him 2 hours away on that. On an instant direct connect. Hey, Brother Muko. Oh, my phone died.
All right. Thank you. On that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close this thing now early tonight because I got some stuff I need to work on. So I will go ahead. I'm not sure we're going to do a space tomorrow night or Thursday night, but we're going to try to come back again another night this week. I appreciate everybody coming out and contributing as always. So you guys be safe, peace, and have a good one.